Okay, so I guess that ping means that we're recording. This is Miss Jefferson, and I'm here to talk to you today with some leaders from the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion group in Year 10. And this group of leaders is a group of girls in our Year 10 here in our school, and they're going to talk to you about a campaign they're launching to challenge colourism. So, ladies, can I ask any of you to tell me straight off, what is colourism?
Colourism is the discrimination of people with darker skin tones just because they're darker, and it usually comes from inside their own community.
What do you mean by inside their own community? So who is it that normally makes colourist remarks?
People of the same race.
Does that mean does that make it even more hurtful in some ways?
Yeah, because we're all supposed to be united together, and then for having your own race discriminate you against your own colour.
Exactly, because I feel like when it's white people who are discriminating against you, can almost, it hurts like just as like not as much, but it still hurts, but it won't have the same impact. But when it's like the other people from your race who are actually being disrespectful towards you just because you're maybe that you're a darker shade than them, it's so like hurtful, because it's like you're literally one of me, but you're being so vile towards me, if that makes sense.
One of the things that I found really shocking when you guys first told me about this problem was actually the extent to which it's a global problem. Is it something that, and it's not something though that everybody is going to experience, is it?
No, because obviously if you're a lighter skin tone, or if you're like white, you're not gonna face that type of discrimination.
But just because you've got a dark skin tone,
as sad as it is, the beauty standard is lighter, because the beauty standard is that lighter is deemed more beautiful when it really isn't. And this campaign is just to show everyone how skin tone doesn't affect anything and everyone's beautiful regardless.
Do you think that's a problem in itself, though, the idea that we might want to be beautiful? Can you explain what you mean by beautiful?
That everyone is worth accepting and shouldn't be treated differently. Because at the end of the day, it's something you can't control and it doesn't really matter. And beauty is not defined by anything. Beauty is what's inside of you and how you are as a person.
Would you agree with that, Kyla? Can I ask you your opinion? Do you agree with what Safa says? That's your definition of beauty, what's inside of you and what you are as a person?
100%. I don't think like appearance is obviously sometimes like it kind of, I don't know, but I feel like Safa said, like it is what the type of person you are rather than like how you look, because some people like their beauty on the inside makes them more beautiful on the outside, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense. The thing is, though, you still feel it's a problem. So you talked about how it feels if you are discriminated against because of your colour or because of your shade. So in the same way, if a person is bullied because of their physical appearance, it still damages them. What can we do to help people who've experienced any kind of bullying or discriminatory attitudes? What would your advice be?
I feel like my advice to them would be like, look at like for the people who are say like dark skin, because I know like a lot of it's mainly like boys that say like, oh yeah, dark skin girls aren't as pretty as light skin girls, and like look at all the dark skin models like doing so well because of the beauty of their skin. Like it's hard to explain. Like
it is difficult. So in a way, because what you're saying is it doesn't matter what you look like, but then you're saying you should be proud of what you look like, even though it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I see. It's so hard to explain, isn't it? I think it's because
Mitzi, can you help? How would you explain it?
I wouldn't know.
What's your advice you would give? And then Kyla, will come back to you if you want to develop your thoughts.
Yeah.
My advice to be with people who are struggling with colourism or just don't think they're beautiful because of how dark they are or how broad their features are, I'd say that it takes a long time to actually learn how to love and accept those parts of you, even if they're not that definite. It does take a long time when you've seen Eurocentric features as beauty your whole life, especially growing up in the UK. And I just feel like just talk about it, because loads of black girls don't talk about it when they feel like this. They just, you know, they might buy the relaxer or buy the skin whitening, and it's better to talk about it so you can have other people who can relate to you, and you can almost discuss each other. And when you discuss it with somebody who is one of your own, you can almost build each other up from there. And
for people who might not know what relaxer and skin whitener is, can you explain that, and why might people use that, what they're trying to do?
yeah, so skin lightening is something that is like a type of cream, I guess, that you can put on your skin, and you find it in a lot of hair shops, Asian hair shops, and well, black hair shops, but that are run by Asians. But you find them in a lot of shops, and they basically lighten your skin. So they break down the melanin with like some sort of acid so that the darkness goes away and you can look like higher skin colored. But and relaxer is a sort of chemical that you rub into your hair and then you kind of straighten it, and it's basically makes your hair straight, but it really damages black hair to the point where you will have to shave it all off because of how badly it's damaged your hair.
So would your advice be to people to not use those products and to not feel pressure to use products like that, and to celebrate who they are? And do you think one of the reasons people struggle to do that is because of, you mentioned, the lack of representation, that there's a sense that this is what beauty looks like?
Yeah, because there's not enough knowledge about what it does to you. Like I remember in year 8 begging for a weave, and my mum telling me, if you get weave, your hair will be ruined because it will damage your scalp. There's so many things that people don't realize, that because they feel like if I look more white, I will look more prettier, but you're actually damaging those parts of yourselves, which is why it needs to be spoken about, so people can learn how to love their features for who they and for how they look and who they are, before they go and damage everything about themselves and then learning to love themselves. And I think like that's where the problem is. There's not enough education.
There's not enough what, sorry?
There's not enough education about the stuff that we do to ourselves to make us look more pretty, even though we don't, well, quote unquote pretty, even we don't know how it's harming us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because the manufacturers, they just want to make money off of it. It's just not fair.
What advice would you give to all young people, boys and girls, men and women, in terms of worrying about their appearance? Is it an impossible thing to say to a teenager, don't worry about how you look? How can you help people not to worry?
I mean, I think worrying about how you look is a part of every single teenager's life, especially to do with social media. It's just like gotten worse because you see all these people photoshopping how they look, and so you think that's like how beautiful people should look, but the fact is they're just as insecure, and it's really confusing because it's hard because loads of people like you will grow out of it, but I feel like in case you become addicted and fixated on how other people look like, there is no getting over it. And I think it just takes like I said, talking about it, but just also kind of accepting it day after day, kind of.
So going back to Safa's point at the beginning, I suppose what I asked there, as a white female teacher, I asked a question saying, is this something that everyone could relate to? So it is something that everyone can relate to, but the point of challenging colourism is, like Safa said at the start, the pain that it can cause, and actually that you have no control over your facial features or the shade of your skin. So in terms of colourism as a form of discrimination, it can be even more emotionally damaging, particularly if there's lack of representation, because you have no, is that right?
How does colourism against like women hurts even more, because you see like your peers, you see your black friends who are males getting praised for it, saying how, you know, black girls fetishize them, saying they want, mixed babies and all of this, and how they want a dark chocolate man and all of this. And then it hurts to see, like, literally the female version of them getting hated on, even by themselves. It's like, I think if a black man is hating on another black woman for her skin color, it's just self-hate. Because how are you hating what you have? And that's why it hurts the most, to see other people getting praised for what you have, but you get put down endlessly for it.
So would you say, because we're going to come to the end of our time today, that the reason you wanted to lead this campaign, and students in the school community, you're going to be seeing large versions of some of the images we're about to share with you all around our school site, because these girls believe, I believe, we believe in St. Katharine's that this is an issue that has to be tackled and has to be talked about. So the photos you're going to see have been designed to inspire you to have confidence. So girls, I don't know if you'd like to talk about why you've chosen these images and why you chose the slogan.
Yeah. So these photos are not just like us wanting to look quote unquote pretty or whatever. It's you're actually getting a message through the photo, and like, for example, school photos, they just want you to smile, to look presentable, but these are saying what it says about you. And like, it took so long, even like 2 takes, to get the expression and to really say what it says about the individual person and like the challenges that each individual person goes through, but also that you all do go through different stuff, but then again you have to, like, overall people going through the same thing, but individually, like, people don't realize. So yeah, we really wanted to capture that through these photos.
Brilliant. So was that quite hard? Because I understand, Effie, that you took quite a lot of the photographs as well. It's very hard to get people to relax and to show you who they are.
Yeah, it took a really long time and 2 sessions after school, just because we wanted everyone to be happy with the photos. And so I would show them like straight after I took them and see people's genuine reactions, because obviously these going around school, so you want to be happy with them, but it's also about what you want the photo to say about you.
Yeah, and the message. So why the slogan then? This was something that we debated, and I can't remember who somebody said. We said there is no beauty standard should be our slogan, and then somebody said, but miss, there is, so that doesn't work. And then you came up with this. This is very, very simple. Why this? Kyla, why this?
I think the very, very like blunt, like, it's not really, it's like a very short sentence, like, this is us, like, it's like a clear, strong message. And I feel like this is what we're trying to portray. We're trying to portray, like, trying to like give out like a really strong, clear message, like, this is us, this is what we stand for, like. And I think that just like the whole use of this, like, what we're doing is to show that this is us and we're all like beautiful in like our own way.
It's more like, this is us, accept it or don't, but at the end of the day, we're not changing for anybody.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think it's more of a statement. It's more of a statement rather than like a question or something, because it's stating that even though we're all different, because you can see like there's Kyla, and then there's like we have darker skinned girls that are really beautiful, and then there's like the Muslim ones, and then there's also like us from all different like African countries. We also have Amani, and it's like showing off that even like different people from different countries can make it work, and that this is us and that we're not going to change.
Brilliant. So one last word, what would your advice be if there's anybody in school who's experienced colourism or who would like to lead their own kind of campaign promoting equality, diversity and inclusion in the community? What would you say to them?
If you want to start a campaign, go for it. There shouldn't be anything stopping you from standing up for what you believe in.
Don't be embarrassed about it. Don't think that people are gonna shame you because of your skin tone. Just do it.
And if you ever need to speak to anyone, you can come and speak to us.
Thank you, Safa. That's superb. And what we might do is share an email address where people could contact you if there's anything they want you to discuss. Ladies, I'm going to stop the recording now. You've been incredible. Thank you so very much.